Hey guys, it's Sushi. Today I wanted to post a video just showing like kind of the tougher anomalies because I feel like there are a lot of general tutorials for dealing with anomalies out there, but I really wanted to specifically hone in on some of the harder ones. So wraiths, mostly the green ones, the size that like spawn other ones, the pale man, and the green variant of the night crawlers. That's mainly what this video will be going over. And this just has some like tips and tricks on how I deal with them. And yeah. I also did want to say I just finished taking a summer class, so I should be a lot more free. So hopefully I'll have a lot more videos coming out. I've been playing a lot of like Cryptic Notes hard mode solo, and hopefully I'll have more videos similar to my other videos coming out soon. I'm so excited. Okay, so the first anomaly I'm going to cover is size. I feel like they're actually pretty easy, but they could be really tough if you get a bunch of them on you. Apparently, I think they're adding stuff to the game soon where you're going to be able to struggle out of that. But as of right now, you really want to make sure that you stay in control. So in this clip, I got one of the harder size on me. And actually in this clip, I realized that in order for a hit to register on a sai, you have to be facing them when they're attached to you. But the ones with faces, they take 2 hits, and the ones with like just like the sort of like tape on them, the blue ones, just take 1 hit. Those are usually pretty easy. But just make sure that you're not near them when they explode, because that'll do some damage. Another thing I want to bring your attention to is the fact that I'm using my capture, because that will show you where the sais are. So in that room earlier and here, the muse room can be kind of tricky. There are sais in there sometimes. So you want to make sure, especially if there's no pale man in there, it isn't too much of an issue. But if there is a pale man in there, you definitely want to use your capture to see if there are any sais in there, because it's not good to be fighting them and then you get the pale man attacking you. With them, you can use the fire to burn them. I don't recommend using a gun because it wastes bullets, but I like to use the melee because I just feel like it kills them faster than if I were using fire. As you can see, again, I'm just hitting them. It's pretty easy. All right, next up is the pale man. I definitely would not recommend getting into a fight with him. He's really hard to fight. He's really fast. He does a lot of damage. But if you don't make him angry, he's actually pretty easy to deal with. So you can trade with him, which I think is pretty cool. I'd always recommend trading a blue item, not like purple or gold. I guess it would be B tier, because it is randomized. But I always like to trade with him. And then if he is in the muse room like this, you can see me using the fire to kill him, because I just don't like to mess with him. So if I can kill him, I always do, because up here, when you get up on this high piece of furniture, he can't reach you. So you're safe. As you can see in this next clip though, there are no high pieces of furniture where I would be safe from him. So I'm just going to trade with him and then go about my merry way, because I really don't want to aggravate him and have to fight him if I don't have to. Because honestly, fighting him when you're not safe to attack him is really dangerous. Honestly, I would say that it might even be more dangerous than fighting a wraith, because I don't have particularly good aim. But here again, you can see me using my capture, I think that's what it's called, in the muse room, because that room just can get tricky if there's a pale man, and you never know. Like usually at least 1 anomaly spawns in there. Sais spawn there quite frequently. And then you could just see me doing the same thing. I'm just burning him and then getting to that treasure. I do want to stress as well while this is going on, just some general tips that I always use fire instead of bullets if I can, if like there's no downside to it, as to not waste my bullets. And then I always kill anomalies immediately, like as soon as I see them, unless I'm just like running out of there, because in hard mode they tend to pile up quite a bit. So I like to get done with them just in case like I run into a green wraith. It's always better to just deal with the green wraith instead of like dealing with him and some other anomalies. Alrighty, so the next anomaly is this green variant of the Nightcrawler. The typical Nightcrawler is pretty easy, so I didn't really include them in this video because it's just, you don't really need a tutorial. But these are basically just the harder version. They deal more damage. They're a little tougher to fight. But my tactic is usually I just kind of try to run past them and get that first hit on them while they jump in front of me. And then I just keep hitting them. If you're kind of like right next to them, usually you don't take the hit. So I do that as well. Here, I'm kind of getting jumped by a bunch of them. So you can kind of see that tactic while fighting multiple Nightcrawlers. So yeah. Honestly, I feel like with the Nightcrawlers, if you're ever just fighting one, it shouldn't be too big of an issue, but it's like they add up, and that's when it gets tough, when you're fighting them and other things, or like fighting multiple of them. So just make sure you always are aware of your surroundings. Here we are. I'm sure this is what you guys are all here for. The Wraith. This is like the granddaddy Anomaly. The blue ones, as you can see right here, like they're not too tough to fight. I feel like I always use a gun with them. I don't use melee because I don't want to get close to them. The blue ones are not tough. Honestly, I don't even really think they're blue to me. They seem more like white, but whatever. Everyone calls them blue. But they're pretty easy. They take like 3 shots. You know, you don't really need to worry because you can always, if you're fighting just one of them, you can sort of always just heal up after you fight them if anything happens. But these green ones are tough. So as you can see in this clip, I actually got pretty lucky because this room is hands down, like in my opinion, the best room to fight an Anomaly in because of like the 2-story thing with like these tables. Honestly, like if you get a Wraith here, they really can't hurt you. Like they can't hook you, they can't hit you, nothing. So I apologize for my horrible aim. But they're really not hard to fight here. And if you're nearby this room and you ever like get an Anomaly chasing you, heck, run to this room and like fight them in here because it's just so much easier. But as you can see, these green Wraiths, they teleport, they can like dodge hits, and then they respawn and attack you. So make sure if you're fighting one that it's actually dead and it didn't just disappear. Because sometimes, you know, you hit it, it disappears, you're like, oh, I'm safe, but you're not, like, it's still there. What I've learned is that in the dining room, which is one of the most common rooms that Wraiths spawn in, whichever one has the lightning is where the Wraith will be. So again, you can use your capture tool to sort of see them, and they won't spawn unless you get into their range. But the most common spot to fight a Wraith is probably this dining room. So I always recommend getting up on the dining room table because they can't hit you there. They can hook you, so you do want to jump to evade it. Sometimes it can be hard with the timing. You can see I get hit a few times while I'm trying to fight them. But usually if I'm just fighting a Wraith or any other Anomaly like Pale Man, anything other than the Nightcrawlers, because if they like put their hammer down, it will still hurt you even if you're up on the table. But you're pretty much safe from any other Anomaly, so you just have to worry about their hooks. So I don't think I mentioned this, but they do hook you. They're kind of like Bane. And I feel like I don't even really need to say it because you could see it hooking me, but you always want to get out of the way. If you're just in like a hallway or something, you can duck under it, which I believe, yeah, my next clip should be me seeing a Wraith in a hallway. And then actually I was really close to the dining room in this clip, so what I did was I just ran away to the dining room so that I could fight it on the dining room table because that's a lot easier than fighting in a hallway. Honestly, my biggest piece of advice is if you can avoid fighting a green Wraith in a hallway, please do it. Like, unless you're really confident. I'm clearly not very confident in my ability to fight a green Wraith, but I would always rather fight them on top of something. The hallway is the worst place to fight them, in my opinion. In this clip here, I actually got pretty lucky because I guess the Wraith lost me or something. I don't really know exactly what happened, but I did not end up having to fight it, so that was cool. But here is me actually fighting a Wraith in a hallway. Again, I'm pretty far away from it, so I'm kind of like lucky in this clip too. Sometimes they kind of just sneak up on you and they're really close and there's nothing you can do about it. But here I was able to fight it. I don't know if those first shots were registering because it was so far away, but here I am. When it disappears, it usually reappears pretty close to where it was. But you kind of just want to duck. You could use doors, get out of the way, use those hallways, use any little like crevice you can to sort of get away from it and like dodge those hooks. But otherwise, you know, just shoot, duck, avoid those hooks, and just shoot at it. That's pretty much all you can do. And then heal up after. Here's a clip of 2 Wraiths sneaking up on me. I don't think I mentioned this actually, but always listen for the sound cue of the chains because that's when you know they're coming. I didn't really hear it until they were really close and I was just trying to get out of there. I did not want to fight 2 green Wraiths. And I left this in as a reminder that sometimes you are gonna die. Like sometimes they're gonna kill you and that's okay because that's just what happens. You can't really avoid it all the time, sadly. In that clip, I just feel like there wasn't really anything I could have done. I should have ducked as soon as I heard them, but I didn't know how close they were. I kind of thought they were further because I didn't hear them at all before. So I was just kind of trying to get the heck out of there. And then here's a reminder that especially like with these green wraiths, like use your discretion. You don't always have to fight them. Sometimes it's better to just run away. Like if you're just trying to like leave already, or like something, or like you just know that if you fight them you're gonna die, like it's okay to run away. I always recommend carrying a box of mints because of this. Here are a few clips of me literally just running away, and like because I'm like, no, I don't want to fight you right now, especially like when you're slow, like when you're weighed down, it can be hard to fight like even a night crawler. So I would recommend sometimes just running away. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I will be responding to comments, so if there's anything I missed or anything you guys want to see, or if you have any questions, I will definitely be answering them. But yeah, this is just a general like guide of some of the anomalies that I find to be kind of tough. And yeah, bye!